I'm Rachel Greenberg, and this is Volta Insider. I'm here at the 2016 White House Correspondents' Weekend Garden Brunch. This is the 24th year of the brunch that welcomes famous faces from Hollywood to Silicon Valley and DC politicos. The theme of this year's Garden Brunch is starting up and starting out. So we're talking to people all about the sorts of advice they've given and received in this crazy political season. Welcome to Volta Insider. I'm here with Bryan Cranston, the star of Breaking Bad, and most recently playing President Johnson in All the Way.
Do you want to ask me a few questions?
Yes, please.
All right.
Have you always had an interest in politics?
I think, ironically, after President Kennedy was assassinated, that was the first time that it really left an indelible mark on my life. I was a boy. I was 7 years old. And as children are, you're very self-centered. I want to play, I want to eat, I want to, And it was the first time during that assassination that I noticed the ripple effect it had on everybody, my parents and the whole neighborhood. And it kind of popped me out of my self-centeredness and said, there's something important going on that I need to pay attention to. And so, consequently, President Johnson was the first president I ever really started to listen to and realize that there's something important out there for me to pay attention.
And for those of us who are voting, what would you say to them to encourage them to vote and get involved in this election season?
Voting is a voice. And like if you're at an event, at a concert or something, and you're shouting something because you're loving the music or whatever, if you can equate to every single person's voice equates to a vote. And so if you don't vote, you don't have that voice. And quite frankly, when I talk to people, young or old, if they say I don't vote, then I tell them, I can't talk to you. Yeah, because they don't have a voice. I can't talk. You don't have a voice. If you don't care enough to vote, no matter who you're voting for, if you don't care enough to take the responsibility to vote, you don't have a voice, and therefore I have nothing to say to you. Does it sound too harsh?
No.
You're thinking it's harsh.
A little harsh. But
that's right. That's what I am. I'm harsh.
But I agree with the sentiment. So I agree. And do you remember the first election that you actually voted in?
Yes, it was for Jimmy Carter. Yeah, but then I also voted for Ronald Reagan. I'm all over the place, and so it was. I'm really more of a social liberal and a fiscal conservative. I would love to see candidates who are more toward the middle, that have compassion towards social programs and yet responsibility toward how are we going to pay for certain things. I don't want to have the country continue on raising the debt to leave it to our children and grandchildren.
Do any of the candidates stick out? Do you like any of them?
Oh, I like a lot of them.
They make good presidents.
I'm going to support Hillary Clinton. I think she has the best record, and I agree with her on the most important issues that I found. You're never going to agree 100% on something, but I think it's foolish to think that you should. And we're all adults. We all have a different background, a different education, different sensibilities. And I think on the main issues, it's like a marriage. On the main issues, you have to agree on the main issues. And then there is a spattering of other issues that you go, well, I don't agree with Hillary on a couple things. For instance, I would like to see her come around to abolish the death penalty. I'm against the death penalty. And she has not come out against the death penalty. So that's one of those issues that we are not in line with. But for the most part, I find that she and I have the same sensibilities about what is best for the country, and I think she will be the next president.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
This has been a production of Haddad Media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and find more at VoltaInsider.com.